Welcome back. More than 100 million people across the U.S. are bracing for a bitter winter storm this weekend, with wind chills expected as low as minus 50 degrees in some areas.
With the temps dipping, forecasters warn driving conditions could be dangerous because of icy roads. In some states, it could be too cold to be outside for any extended period of time. Even across the South, temps could be well below normal.
NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Cheung is here with some tips to keep yourself, your family, your home safe against this brutal winter weather. Brian, I mean, negative, that doesn't even sound like Earth.
Remarkable.
Sounds like we're talking about the moon.
I've experienced it too, by the way.
I was going to say, in
Minnesota,
Minnesota, I feel like,
you're in and out quick and you cover everything. Although people will still go out for a run.
No, I knew you were going to say that. That's insane. Okay, this is also, though, going to I mean, Joe's used to it in somewhere like Minnesota.
Yep.
People in Texas, people in Florida, not always used to weather like this.
Right.
How can people get their homes ready if it's not something they're used to?
Yeah, and we heard that forecast earlier in the show. This is some serious stuff. So I think the first thing that people need to think about is making sure that they're efficiently heating their homes. So a few things that people should be doing. First off, cleaning your heating system. Your furnaces can get clogged up, and it's generally a good idea to clean your furnace at least once a year. Also, seal your drafts. There's a lot of leakage in your house, let's say under the doors, for example, where a heat can escape. Make sure you plug them up. And then lastly, close the fireplace damper. Ironically, that is a place where a lot of people are losing heat. If you're not actively using it as a fireplace, make sure that it's closed so that you're not losing all that heat, basically flowing up to the top of your house.
And of course, if you're going to use it, make sure it's open.
Exactly. Yes, right. Critical.
There. So far, heating costs are up nearly 10% this year, and I don't think people are going to be cutting back this weekend. What are some of the things, though, you can do to try and save on energy?
Yeah, and by the way, the average expectation is that the average American household will spend almost $1,000 on heating their home this winter, so it is very expensive. Some cost-saving tips, according to Con Edison: turn on your humidifiers. In fact, they say that having a humidifier on in your house is going to do a better job at dispersing the heat. That's a good tip. Also, if you're going to be stuck inside in the snow anyway and you're baking cookies, turning on that oven is a good way to get some of that heat in your kitchen and through the rest of your house as well. Space heaters, I know a lot of people tend to rely on those. If you do have a home heating system, think of your space heater as more of a backup. The reason being, space heaters take up more energy than your installed already home system already has.
Okay, as a newish homeowner, when you hear about the idea of your pipes freezing, especially as a Southern California girl, and you're like, okay, that sounds like that's going to cost you a lot. What do you need to keep in mind when it comes to your plumbing? Yeah,
and this is where the prep really comes in handy. First off, inspect the parts of your home that do tend to be more vulnerable to icing over, like, for example, your attic, your basement, your garage is another one. And if you see exposed pipes, try to insulate them before the storm. Drain your hoses, close the inside valves, and in some cases, if you know that there are certain pipes that tend to be an issue in previous storms, keep the water running. Even if it's just a trickle, it's going to be a good way to make sure that there's no water sitting in there that could ice over. And then lastly, if your pipes do freeze over, it has happened before, thaw them using warm blankets that you basically dipped into warm or hot water. That's a good way to thaw them out.
We used to use blow dryers. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but we would use
I think the wet towels is a better way to do it.
It is a better way. That's good to know that.
Too much heat in one go might actually make it easier.
All right, good to know. All right, let's switch gears and talk about your car. What do you want to do just to make sure you're safe in case you end up on the side of the road and it's freezing? What are the best things to do?
Well, I mean, the side of the road is certainly one issue, but I think people even starting their cars after the winter storm is going to be an issue. So first off, as your car is parked in your driveway ahead of this storm, make sure that you're checking all the tire pressures. That tends to be the first place where people run into issues during these winter storms. You lose a lot of pressure in those tires. Get winter tires or snow chains if there is a lot of accumulation headed your way. Check your antifreeze levels as well, and then add an ice repellent to your windshield to make sure that you don't have that icy view, so that it prevents you from being able to drive. And one last thing I would add here is have a pair of jump cables in your car, because I know a lot of batteries tend to die during this cold, during these cold winter storms. You definitely don't want to get stuck. If you have those jump cables, at least you have the option to start it.
Let's talk about just ourselves, our bodies. What do you wear in this kind of cold? How long is it even possible or safe to be out in it?
Yeah, so layer up. At least 3 layers is kind of the advice here. If you can go more, I would say go even higher than that. Cover your hands, head, and feet. Those are the real areas where you can risk frostbite. And then lastly, just stay inside if the wind chill is especially below 13 degrees. I mean, you're talking about negative 50. Even 13 degrees can be too cold if you're out there for extended periods of time, which people will be as they're shoveling snow. So just make sure that you're trying to look at the weather. Try to pick the warmer midday times to get out there if you really have to.
When it's 14.
When it's 14 as opposed to maybe 0 or 2. But look, everyone, I think a good amount of precaution is definitely warranted in a big storm like this.
No kidding. Brian, thank you so much. Great tips there.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.